Solitsky, the project director. This is Shazzy. He is the lead artist, and this is Alex. He is the lead designer. So just to remind you all about our game, it is a third-person, top-down board mode game where you play cooperatively with other players as robots, and you defend against hordes of enemies that are trying to destroy a harvester that you are trying to defend as it generates resources for you. So to start this off, we have a website and our poster right here, provided by...
This is our poster. These are like the three main little characters we're going to have, and their arms are going to be customizable, so you can make your different parts, and basically going to show you our website that kind of tells about the game and everyone's photos on it. Scroll down. There are photos. You can learn about the game. You can check out what the concept art, and you can meet the team and everyone's information. Here's some concept art that I'll go through in the following guide. So this is our website. And
here's the team.
Photos, LinkedIn, all that jazz.
So that is our website, BoltCraft.net. Cool.
So this is our, I'm going to play the video. This is our little main character we have so far doing his little idle animation. This is the concept art that we got for like the shapes of the robots and like the different weapons that you can like plug in as arms and everything. So he has like this laser hand and I don't know our weapons, it's some type of cool gun. So these are the different shapes. So like from the poster, the knight, attack, and a scout is kind of small, medium, large, and they'll each have their own kind of what they're known for in specifics, and then the cores are different colors or like an extra little ability that you have as well. And then defenses are we kind of added some personality to them. They're kind of like little minion helpers that you have. So if you like put down a healing station, if you're hurt, you can go get healed from there. Slow heal, if you put that down, it generates like a field. So if you're getting chased by enemies, they'll kind of just like slow down, like walking through it.
Yeah,
So they
we'll be
have,
showing some of that gameplay.
yeah, so they have little personalities to them also. They're little robot helpers that you have, but they don't move. You kind of just place them down and they do their one little job in place. And the enemies are very like industrial looking compared to our main player characters, because since our enemies are robots also, we needed a style to kind of differentiate the two. So the main player is like super bright colors, super fun, full of personality, and these are kind of the traditional industrial type robots, very mechanical, lots of smoke coming out of them, whereas our robots are kind of like the clean energy version of that. And then this is some concept art that we have for kind of the level design, where this blue thing is the harvester that you're protecting, and it's usually kind of in a central open area of the game, and the red spots are where the enemies will spawn out. So there's about 5 places that we have, and they've been strategically placed so you're getting bombarded kind of at a certain rate no matter where you are in the level. And we have 2 music tracks. Track 1 is going to be the game when we do the demo, and we just got this one 2 days ago, and the drop's really great. It's really funny, so we're going to play it. And before you
Yeah, it'll load. Give it a minute.
There we go. Maybe the other wing has it. You might have to switch your wings.
Yes.
Hey, that was preview. What's your name?
Yeah.
This is.
Quick preview.
There we go.
You like that should be like Wait for it.
That track was provided by one of the composers from the Thornton School of Music, so
Yeah.
it's here. So.
They're super awesome, so now these guys can do the game
The game
demo.
demo. All right. So here, play this. have our character here moving around. And the animations are really not in the game, but we do have a custom model here. And here you can shoot a laser gun. And as you fire your gun, your weapon overheats. So that way, we don't want to have a reason for the player to, or we want to give the player a reason to stop firing a gun. So in order for that to work, so that the player will basically have a reason to stop firing. Because if it overheats, then it goes into a period where it cannot attack anymore. And over here we have...
It's easier to keep track of that, to keep track of ammunition, something like that, especially when it's very intense kind of gameplay. You don't want to have to track ammo in this kind of game, so that's why we go more with an overheating bar instead of like ammo.
And this is the harvester here. That is
animated.
It is animated. It is over animated. In fact, it drops down, plants itself into the ground, and starts generating resources. And what these enemies are doing is they're mosh pitting around it in order to do damage to it. And because you are ultimately trying to defend this harvester from these enemies, and you can shoot them and kill them.
There we go. They're disappearing there.
Yeah. So as these enemies die, more will spawn up until you run out of enemies. And that particular enemy right there that created the red sphere was a suicide one that will
runs into you and explodes. Yeah. Whoa.
And all right.
Wouldn't be a demo of that one.
Yeah. That was on a crash. Darn memory up close.
Did you say it was called BoltCraft?
Yeah, exactly. Feature.
Yeah. So you have to collect all the resources before it crashes.
Yeah. That's the time limit.
We wanted to increase the intensity of the player plays.
Raise the stakes.
Yes, exactly.
There's no failure state like the quite like crashing.
Yes. So, and we do have this network. However, in order for it to work properly, we have to be connected with the same network. And so, right now there is some issues with that. We're still getting the dedicated server set up so we can run that persistently in the background, and players will just be able to connect to it and play that. And then showcase some of the turrets. Pulls up this UI here, which has the icons for the different turrets, and you can cycle through them.
So it's controller friendly.
And so this is the slow field one, and so it shows you what the fortification will look like, and you can go around and place it, and it will stay there, and enemies that walk through it will actually get slowed. So we'll have to kill a few of these guys.
Apparently you were damaged by Sonic as well.
Yeah, they did. They actually did turn to face me, and
yep, there it is. There was another one.
yep. So the enemies do, and the fortifications have a duration on them. So you'll have to keep placing these throughout. And every time you place one, it'll cost a certain amount of resources. So. So these enemies, you can see back here.
You see it.
These guys are a lot slower now, and they can't run as fast as they run through the slow sphere. And so as the harvester is alive, it'll generate scraps for you, which are what you use in order to build the defenses. And you can see we're on wave 2 down there in the bottom left-hand corner. So after you kill all the enemies, it'll increment the wave number, and the wave number
gets harder and harder.
Yeah, will get harder progressively. So as the waves get harder, then you'll get more rewards from scraps.
It's kind of incremental difficulty that way.
And so that is what we have for the demo portion of our game. And
Oh, you have different weapons.
oh yes, we also have different weapons here.
Currently, there's no way in game to change your weapon, but you can change the header. We'll do it now.
So here we have a.
This is gameplay.
Yes. So we have a railgun here. So this gun fires a projectile, and the projectile is
Just barely change out. There you go.
yeah. So we're still play testing with these and changing values on the projectile speed. And in order to see like what is a good fit for like what an actual railgun is, and so we're still hard to see what we wanted to do, but we wanted to have a projectile weapon in the game because projectile things are a lot more interactive. They lead to more high skill play and just overall more fun to use. And we also have for players that want to play a more supportive style, a heal gun, which I can show you here by putting 2 players in the game. Alright. So here we have this player. And this will kill the player. Their health is gone all the way down. And if we switch over to the other, you can walk over and revive them. See, he's revived now and he has a little bit more health. And the player can aim the gun at them and heal them completely. So it attaches a tether to the ally, and it'll just continue to heal them. And at this point, it also heals quite frequently, and it gives a lot of health at once, so it's actually really strong. And so that it supports more of the supportive playstyle of our game.
We also have a couple secondary weapons because they're not networked, they're not just built, but they're.
Yes. So about say 90% of the features that we have are currently networked, and so they work with a dedicated server, and because that is one of the core features of our game that we wanted to focus on with the cooperative.
So we got that in early.
Yeah. So,
Questions?
any questions?
How big's the team?
So right now we have
7 engineers.
we have 7 engineers, 5 leads, and 14 artists. So
Wow.
yeah.
So there's a big art drop.
Oh, and then we have 2. Currently, we have 2 composers that have given us music.
Wow. Good size.
Yes.
All right.
First of all, what kind of behaviors do your enemies right now have?
They're pathing to the harvester because that's their main objective. They're supposed to, engage turrets or you on the way if you get in their way. But right now, because it's just like we don't like, because he's just kind of like showing you features off of one side of the map. All the enemies are just going to the harvester because he wasn't really stopping them. The other behaviors are path to the harvester, and if they encounter, something blocking them like you or a turret, they will attack the turret and they will keep going. So you have to kind of like stop the flow of getting to the harvester.
And how many different kinds they are?
We have 3. They were different kind of colors. So like we have like the suicide enemy. We saw like eventually. Sometimes you saw like a big kind of red sphere. That's the suicide enemy. We have like a ranged enemy, which kind of like you just have like can shoot you at a range. And we have one that closes into you and melees with you. And so those are the 3 types that are in the game. They're kind of like the base enemies. So those are in and functioning. It's just because they're all tapped in the harvester, you can't really.
And you provide the different kinds of weapons. You have counterbalance each one, or what's the process of that?
Yeah, it's more. It's not like rock paper scissors. It's more like there's different types of enemies, and so like different types of turrets will like slow them, or will attack them. So there's different approaches to it. It's not necessarily like direct counters to different types of enemies. It's just kind of like counters different types of flow, because the enemies will flow differently, and you have abilities that are like some are faster, some slow enemies, some attack enemies, some are kind of turrets, some are walls. So you basically it's kind of like a flow game. You're kind of stopping the flow. So that's kind of the balancing act.
Last question, what are your plans until the final?
So until the final, the fixing crashes. We do not want to be known as BoltCraft. So fixing that, and then
There was a bit of a race to get a lot of the features in, but some of them are not properly integrated. And so it's going to be another like let's say 2 weeks of like properly integrating everything, and then because now we have something playable, we can also start making meaningful balance changes and start having because we have gameplay now, but now we're going to start really iterating on that. And so the focus of the next segment will be lots of playtesting and also getting the features that are in to work correctly. And then after that, there's a few odds and ends of let's like 10-15% left of features, not features, but of elements to add. But besides that, it's all just iterating, playtesting, bug fixing.
yes, because already we have most of the features that we've listed in our GDD in the game, at least represented. So
we have the MVP for sure, and then there's a few odds and ends that we have left to add that we'll add. That shouldn't be a problem. Given schedule.
For the art now that we have like a playable demo, it's much easier to see like where we need lights and like because like the initial idea is like this dark post-apocalyptic world and these like bright characters. So now we can actually start plugging stuff in and see this is too dark. We need more lights here and stuff like that. So getting our
The art pipeline is getting started, yes.
We have
It's had some
our-
difficulties, but now it's revving up. We'll
Yes.
see.
So as we move into this period after midterm and before finals, we will be integrating a lot more playtesting into our game because that will play a lot of a huge role in getting our game to be fun and know what features need to be fixed and what tweaks need to be made in order to make the game really fun and engaging. Since we have all of the base pieces there, we just need to make all of them work together and work nicely. So.
I have a quick question. How many players do you support for co-op?
3.
3 at a time? So does that mean that you plan to balance sort of the class structure of those players where they complement each other, but you could also, if all 3 of you don't want to heal, you potentially could just sort of be a bunch of gun toters?
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. That's for sure a concern in the balancing path.
That's really cool.
Yes.